high. Murten or Mora, the commune in Switzerland, in the canton of Freiburg. It is located on the Lake Murtens, enters the district of Z. The population of 8259 people. For December 31, 2019. Murten does not correspond to the criteria of the city developed by Federal Statistical Office, but historically it is considered the city and in such quality joins in statistical reference books. History. For the first time Murten is mentioned in documents in 515 as Murten, which was donated the monastery St. Moritz. The name of the settlement presumably came from the Celtic Moradunum. Mori, the lake and Dunum fortress. Murten belonged to the Kingdom Burgundy, which center since 888 was in St. Moritz. In 1033-1034 Murten's fortress was captured by the Emperor Conrad II and destroyed. During the period between 1157 and 1177 Murten was newly built up by the Duke Berthold IV, soon then felt economic recovery and became since 1218 a free imperial city. However, the arrangement in the border area between ownerships of Dukes of Savoy and Habsburg did life of the city restless. In 1238 around the city the fortification which strengthenings remained up to now was put up. In 1255 in the period of Peter II Savoyski's government Murten got under the power of Savoy, where remained behind a few exceptions till 1475. In 1416 the most part of wooden constructions of the city was destroyed by the fire, while city strengthenings did not suffer from fire. The new page of history of the city began during the Burgundian Wars between the Swiss Union and the Duke of Burgundy Karl Smelly. Murten belonged to Yakov Savoyski, the Marshal of Burgundy at this time. The city, which had close economic relations with Bern in 1457, voluntarily surrendered to Swisses, Savoy opposing Burgundy and allied as it. After Karl Smelly got beaten in fight at Granson in 1476, he besieged Murten. On June 22, 1476 fight at Murten, in whom troops of the Swiss Union and their allies caused a considerable loss to the Burgundian Duke, took place. Under the Freiburg Peace Treaty of 1476, Savoy conceded Murten to the Swiss Union. Till 1798 Murten, Bern and Freiburg, which serially appointed for a period of 5 years the inspector whose residence was in the Murtenski Lock in common, operated. In 1530 Murten adjoined the Reformation that generated disagreements between Catholic Freiburg and Bern. Bern assumed management functions by church and civil cases, while Freiburg was responsible for military management. At the same time, in peacetime Bern received a greater influence on civil life of the city that gradually led to promotion of German and then still mainly French-speaking Murtener. Since 1803 the city and the commune Murten departed to the canton of Freiburg. Geography. The city is located at the height of 453 meters above sea level, in 14 kilometers to the north from the capital of the canton of Freiburg on the southeast coast of Murtens. Murten occupies the space of 12 square kilometers. The most part of the city is on the southern coast Murtensee. Extent of the coast is about 1800 meters. In the coastal valley and on the Murtenski height. To the east from the city woody plateaus Birkenwald, Trimbley, stretched to 560 meters above sea level. Gloucester, 576 meters above sea level. And the Murtenski Wood, Murtenwald, 582 meters above sea level. Murten's earth are intensively used in the agricultural purposes. In 1997, 54% of lands of the commune occupied agricultural grounds, 27% the woods and green plantings, and 19% the territory of the settlement. Also the settlement of Berg, and since 1991 also Villa on the plateau near Murten was a part of the commune Murten since 1975. Besides, the rock rural settlements on the southeast outskirts of the city, Leeuwenberg earlier attached to Murten. Murten's population makes 24 persons. For December 31, 2008. That is it by one of large settlements of the canton of Freiburg. In 1900 the population in the city was 2645 inhabitants, then it for a while decreased, and after 1950 constantly grew, especially after construction of new residential quarters in the 1990s which Germans occupied generally. As a result the share of francophones was reduced from 40% in the 1950 years to 13% in Icrest. Time 76.5% of inhabitants of Murten speak German, 8% of citizens are made by the French-speaking population, for 1.9% of inhabitants to the family Italian is. According to 2000. This city is located in a bilingual French-German language zone, however, unlike the rest of the canton of Freiburg, use of German prevails. Approximately till the 17th century Murten's population mainly spoke French, however German purchased the increasing value, and now the main part of the population of the city German-speaking. In German local office work is conducted, but at school remain as well French-speaking classes. Economy. Historically Murten was always the agrarian town in which processing of the agricultural products which are grown up in its vicinities and also trade and fishery had major importance. As the city until the end of the 19th century lay away from the main transport ways, industrialization took place slowly. The factory at which ours were made was the main industrial enterprise at this time. Economic recovery in Murten began only after World War II. As of 2001 in the city there are about 3,400 jobs, from them about 36% are the share of the industrial sector of economy, 61% on the sphere of consumer services and trade, and only 3% of the population are engaged in agriculture. On fertile lands in the neighborhood of the city vegetable growing and gardening and also dairy farming is developed. Industrial regions of Murten are located in close proximity to the railroad. Production of glass products and also the food industry are primary branches of the industry electronics. Along with it there are enterprises of small and medium business performing activity in the sphere of construction, transportations, information technologies, exact mechanics and sewing production. In the city banking and insurance and also tourism industry is developed. Transport. Murten is located along the old road conducting from Bern to Lausanne through Payerne. The transit movement was eliminated from the old town with opening in 1997 of a tunnel 2.2 kilometers long between Leeuwenberg and Gren as parts of highway. Railway traffic connected Murten with other cities of Switzerland on June 12, 1876 when a part of a railway track between Murten and Lis was put into operation. A bit later, on August 25, 1876, the railway line Murten-Payerne-Palasia was open. In 1898 railway communication with Freiburg opened. Bus routes connect the city with Greng and Kurtepen, and the water transport on the Lake Mertens, with other coastal settlements. Culture and sport. In Murten there is a theatre under the open sky where various concerts, including a summer Murtenski festival of classical music, will be organized. At the beginning of March in the city the interregional Murtenskaya Maslenitsa festival is also held. In the city there are soccer and tennis courts, the tennis hall and the indoor pool. The main tourist attractions are located in well-remained old town surrounded with fortifications with towers. The old city is a monument of architecture of national value. It kept a typical rectangular form of the plan of medieval towns with the central square about 300-200 meters. Buildings in this district of the city generally belong to an era of Baroque of the 17th-18th centuries. The fortification around Murten is one of best remained medieval strengthenings of Switzerland. It was constructed in 1238 and further several times was reconstructed, rose up and amplified. In the 20th century the wall underwent extensive restoration. The fortification has height on average of 8.5 meters and 12 towers of various design and size. The city had two main entrances. The Burn Gate from the northeast party were in the final shape constructed in 1778. In the southwest part of the old city the lock which construction is begun in the middle of 13 Peter II, the Duke Savoy Towers. The oldest remained part of the lock is a massive quadrangular main tower. External walls of the lock connect to city strengthenings and are strengthened by semicircular towers. Premises of the lock were repeatedly reconstructed, first of all during transformation of the lock to the residence of the inspector appointed the Swiss Confederation. Significant changes took place from 1476 to 1540 and at the end of the 18th century. Now the lock is a combination of various architectural styles from late Gothic and the Renaissance to Baroque. Now in the lock the prefecture of the commune Murten is located. Below the lock there is an old city mill constructed in 1578 in which exposure of the historical museum is placed. From historical buildings are also distinguished German Reformist parish church in Baroque style and the house of the pastor built in 1732. The city town hall was built in 1474 by reconstruction of two former private houses. Below the old city houses of handicraftsmen in late Gothic style around Ruff are located. Outside city walls there is a Catholic church of the Saint of Mauritius constructed in 1885-87 in style of a pseudo-Gothic. To the northeast of the city in the small village of Lievenberg the lock of the 17th century of the same name is located. In 2002 a historical part of Murten became one of 5 sites of holding the Swiss Expo. O2 exhibition. As that symbol of an exhibition the metal cube, the monolith, established on the concrete basis in Murtens approximately in 200 meters from the harbor on the project of the architect Jean Nouvel was used. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.